Hello, everybody. Welcome back to Swimming in the Stream. I'm here with Marcy,
Hey,
and we're here to talk about the big news that came out that HBO Max is releasing all their movies that come to theaters on HBO Max the same day at the same time. Now, I think that is incredibly big news. What do you think?
that's going to release in 2021.
Yep, it's going to release all the movies in 2021 are coming to HBO Max. I think that is really big. Like,
Oh yeah, that's
really, really big.
huge. Huge. I'm really excited for that. It'll be very convenient since we're still in plague times right now, but I can't help but wonder what this is going to do to the theater industry.
Yeah, so this is like the biggest move against the theater industry as of right now in terms of big studio move because as we know that Universal um tried to do something like this and AMC and all the other movie chains got upset, right?
Yeah.
So Universal came to a deal with AMC in the movie theaters that they can release their movies on Peacock 14 days after they've released it in theaters. So that
Okay.
was the closest we've ever come to a movie dropping on on a streaming platform from being in the movie theaters. So this right now is literally could possibly kill the movie industry if other major studios go along with it.
Yeah. I wonder how they got these deals.
Well, they said that in some of the articles I read that this whole release in 2021 thing was a surprise. Like
Mm.
HBO Max, Warner Brothers owns HBO Max. Warner Brothers released this news, and it was a surprise to all their partners and what like that, and stuff like that. Um, so it seems like they probably only told their like shareholders, and it was like only internal talks at the studio about this, and they didn't really tell anybody else because I'm pretty sure some people would have had problems if word got out that they were trying to do this.
Yeah, for sure.
And another thing is that according to things I've read about the release of HBO Max getting the movies the same day as the theaters, this they said this is only for pandemic times. So they're saying that this is only applying to movies within 2021 and Wonder Woman that's coming out in December. But besides that, only the movies in 2021 this is going to apply to that. So 2022, it's not, they're saying that they're going to go back to the old way of doing things, possibly because they said this is a pandemic like type
Yeah,
emergency
so
thing that
it's
they're doing.
temporarily limited time only kind of thing.
Yeah, yeah, something like that. Yeah. So I
Yeah, this
wonder
is
if that's
definitely gonna make HBO Max, the sales or like people subscribing to it go just skyrocket.
true. Now the only thing is, I believe HBO Max is only available in America as of right now. So the other territories will not have this type of access on their internet service yet.
Hmm.
And that might push people to stream it from illegal places, or
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure they're still going to release it in movie theaters, or so they'll still get some money from movie theaters overseas.
Hmm.
But we can talk about some of the movies that are coming in 2021, and what we have is we're going to cover some of the big movies. So we have like Tom and Jerry, that's coming out in 2021. We have Godzilla versus Kong, The Conjuring, The Devil Made Me Do It, In the Heights, Space Jam: A New Legacy, The Suicide Squad, Dune, Matrix 4. Those are just some of the big movies. They even got Mortal Kombat, and they have a lot of other things that I haven't really looked at or heard of, but are probably might be hopefully good movies like Judas and the Black Messiahs, King Richard. It seems like this is gonna have Will Smith in it, maybe. They
Yeah,
also have the Many Saints of Newark.
Those Who Wish Me Dead,
Yeah, Those Who Wish Me Dead, The Little Things.
Malignant.
Yep, Malignant. So my question to you is, because you're a fan of some of these movies that are on the list, am I correct?
Yes, I am.
So what movie on this list do you think you're most excited to see? One of them.
I honestly wanna see Tom and Jerry. I know it's like the trailer's already out It's gonna be live action, sort of that like crossover live action with animation, 3D animation, like with Looney Tunes Back in Action. I actually enjoyed
Space
Looney
Jam,
Tunes Back in Action.
Space Jam as well.
Oh yeah, and Space Jam, yeah. The trailer looks good. It looks like it's gonna be a hoot. I think kids today are really gonna like it.
The trailer looked very good to me. If y'all haven't watched the trailer yet, I do recommend going to watch the trailer. I think it's quite Tom and Jerry. It doesn't look that bad to me, to be honest. I thought it was going to be a lot worse than uh, what it actually came out to be in the trailer. Now that could just be a good trailer, and it still could be a terrible movie. But who knows until the
Let's
movie comes
hope
out?
not.
Yeah, let's hope not.
Beloved childhood characters just beating each other down.
hmm But I asked this question because do you see yourself watching this in the movie theaters, or would you opt for just watching it at home on the TV since it's going to be at the same time as dropping at the movie theater?
Honestly, I would just watch it at home unless no, I would just watch it at home. Like even like having kids, I don't think that I would take them to the theater when you could just do it at home.
I say the one that I would like, the movie that I'm one of the most excited for on this list is Godzilla, and The Conjuring is a close second. The Matrix is also there's so many good movies that are coming
The
out in
Conjuring, that
2021.
would have been my second one. That oh, I love The Conjuring. The Conjuring is one of my favorite scary movies. Like the whole universe.
Yeah, so there's so many good movies that are coming out in 2021. It's hard to pick, but I'm going with the example of Godzilla versus Kong. Now, Godzilla versus Kong is like a big monster battle type thing that we've been leading up to ever since what, like 2014 or something like that. And I'm thinking that I just want to watch Godzilla versus Kong in the movie theaters because the movie theaters is a much bigger screen to the instead of the TV I have at home, and they have the whole surround sound system, and it's just a big spectacle, basically.
It,
You know?
it's the experience. Like
Yeah.
you're really excited for this movie. You're ready to go see it. It'll be the same thing for like me and The Conjuring. And you don't really want to be at home for it. You want to have the whole experience that that movie can give you.
You want to try to have that like communal experience with other people that came to see this movie for the first time. Like horror for The Conjuring in anyway.
Yeah, like seeing people jump in their seats and popcorn flying and screams.
Yep. Because you can't get that at home. You can, I mean, you can get it at home with like maybe some of your friends or whatever, but it's different when you have a whole movie theater and people are just like, "Oh my god," and stuff like that.
If you turn the sound up really loud and like your animals get scared from
Yeah, especially if you
jumping.
have animals, you can't have the same, noise level as you do in a theater. Yeah.
Yeah. Especially if you live, like, in an apartment or you're just
Yeah.
watching it in, like, a separate part of the house.
Yeah, it's a completely different experience. So I think that this is good and bad for it's good for like streaming services, but it could be bad for movie theaters. But I seen this other article that asked some questions that I never really thought of, and I wanted to discuss it with you. And this all pertains to the HBO Max thing for 2021. The first question that this article asks is, will other studios follow in Warner Brothers' footsteps? Now, that is a very good question because if other studios do, I think that is the death of movie theaters, pretty
Yeah.
much. What do you think?
I definitely agree with that. I think that other, um, companies are going to follow.
hmm Now, we've already seen that other companies have tried to do something like this with the whole Universal thing, and they've signed the deal for the 14-day contract for their stuff to be dropped on Peacock. And then even Disney Plus has even brought out stuff on Disney Plus like Mulan, but it had an extra $30 attached to it. So,
Yeah, no, the prices are crazy. So, how like I believe it, yeah, it was Disney Plus because there was like some other movies that came out earlier this year, and when the pandemic hit and nobody wanted to go out to the theater because the
mhm.
theaters were closed, and you had to pay extra money than you would have paid going to the theater to see the movie. For some of us anyway. It really just depends on like how many people would have wanted to watch it. And I think they were charging like for the average four-person family.
Yeah, so they were charging. So the big one that came out that like really set the whole thing on fire was Trolls World Tour. And
That
Trolls World
yeah.
Tour, you can get it on any platform. You can get it on Amazon or any platform that you can rent stuff from. So that's the whole thing. And they were charging, I forgot how much they were charging, but it was something relatively reasonable if you had like four people go to the movie theater type thing, I believe.
Yeah. But if only, like, one person really wanted to see it.
Yeah. So you could either rent it and I think you can own it.
Didn't Scoob come out this year?
Yeah, Scoob also came out and they
Yeah, because they were
charged.
charging for Scoob.
Yeah, so they charge for Scoob, they charge for Trolls War Tour. But the thing is that you can get that on multiple platforms. It wasn't strictly on Universal's platform at all. You can get it on
Uh-huh.
Amazon. You can get it on anything that you can rent movies from. Now, the thing with Disney Plus is that Mulan was only on Disney Plus, and it was an extra $30 on top of your subscription.
Yeah, no, that's crazy.
I think that was a bad deal. I think Disney Plus needs to go back to the drawing board with that because Mulan was not a success compared to like Trolls. Trolls was like a hit with streaming.
Mhm.
But yeah, Trolls set the whole thing on fire and made Universal and AMC and everybody renegotiate a deal. Now people are talking about that because, like I said, Disney Plus tried to do something. Now Paramount Plus is going to come out, and they're saying that our Paramount Plus going to try to do something is possibly Apple TV Plus going to try to do something as well, even though we already have Apple TV Plus buying up movies and putting them exclusively on Apple TV Plus. They're not really
Oh,
coming out in
man.
theaters. So that's a whole thing. And this could look bad if other studios follow suit. And because HBO Max is dropping all these movies with no extra charge to the customers,
Mhm.
your subscription gets you all these movies day and date.
Yeah, that's definitely gonna, put theaters in trouble. But
Definitely.
I'm also thinking about it from, like, the point of view of the person having to buy all these subscriptions.
Oh yeah, the HBO Max deal is really good consumer deal,
Oh,
to be
yeah,
honest.
no, I love HBO Max. That's really good. But just all of these different, streaming services, subscribing to them, it's getting pricey,
Yeah. Hmm.
especially if they're coming out with just Paramount Studios, like, streaming service, and they're putting all of their movies on there.
Yep.
Are they going well, I don't know if you know, but do you think that they're going to pull their movies from other subscription services and put them on there?
Oh, definitely. That's what everybody's doing. That's why all the stuff is leaving
Like,
Netflix.
once the
Netflix.
contracts end, it's just
Yeah,
not gonna be on there
because
anymore?
yeah, that's why Netflix right now is focusing on original content because all these studios are pulling their content away from Netflix so they can put it on their own thing. So it's a whole big thing with all these streaming. It's the streaming wars. We are in the streaming wars right now,
Yeah. Oh, man.
and it's
It
not looking
I don't
good for
know, it's
theaters.
just not looking good for the pocket.
No. Well, this deal looks much better for the pocket instead of the Disney Plus deal of $30 extra for the movie.
Oh, yeah, no, I totally agree. Disney was on some other stuff with that.
I mean, they try to get the money back, that they lost, even though I don't
Even
agree
though
that they should have.
the movie wasn't even that good.
I don't think Disney Plus should have gauged this how successful releasing a movie on Disney Plus could be from Mulan that was objectively probably not a good movie anyway, instead of trying it with Black Widow because I know tons of people who are ready to watch Black Widow
Yeah.
and are willing to pay the $30 to watch Black Widow, you know?
Mhm. Yeah, I totally
So,
understand that.
yeah. Let's move on to the next question that this article asks is a less crowded marketplace a great incentive for others to stay in the theatrical game? So basically, they're saying that there's going to be less if more studios do something like this. There are going to be less people in the theaters, right?
Uh-huh.
So would it be it would be a good place for to release like older movies back into the theaters, to get some more money. And it's also good for like I guess also smaller movie studios to release movies in movie theaters as well.
Yeah, like indie films. Or, how Cinemark, every couple years, releases Studio Ghibli films in theater.
Oh well, the Studio Ghibli films will also be coming to HBO
All the
Max
Studio Ghibli
as well.
films are on HBO Max already.
Yeah. Yep. So that's not helping, but I think that since the marketplace could be less crowded, it could try to get different type of studios and different type of people more interested in trying to support these theater chains with, different movies and different ideas,
Yep.
All right. Let's go to the next question. And this one is, will there be a pushback from filmmakers? So we already know that some filmmakers like Christopher Nolan and Martin Scorsese, they don't really care about the bottom line for studios. All they care about is making an experience that is great for the audience to watch in a movie theater. And that's why Christopher Nolan pushed so hard for his movie Tenet to be in movie theaters, even during the pandemic, because he said this is how it should be watched pretty much.
Yes. And I mean, like, I understand that from a creative, artistic point of view. I understand that, like, you want for your work to be observed the way that you want it to be observed. You want for them
Hmm.
to fully embrace it instead of just getting a watered down, like, version of it.
Yeah, because maybe, they made it for the movie theaters and then people are going to watch it at home. It's like, oh, the movie was okay. It would have been better with certain sound cues or something like that. And the director's going to be like, if you were in the theaters, you would have got all those things.
Yeah. Yeah, I totally understand that. But these are special times, these are plague
Yeah.
times, and so even though I understand their side of things, I'm still just like like their sales didn't do that good, did they?
No, because Tenet only released in movie theaters and it didn't do as good as the studio wanted it to do.
Yeah, exactly. That's exactly what I'm talking about.
Yeah. But the only thing is that if these big name like directors don't sign on to movies, will there be enough big movies to prop up the studios? It might be one of those things where the big directors, band together and like boycott this whole streaming service type thing. Um, and they make a deal where their movie can only be released in theaters, like the Universal deal, for like 14 days, and then they can drop it on HBO Max. So that could be a thing that happens.
I personally don't really mind if they release it in theaters for 14 days and then release it on the streaming services. I don't
Yeah, I
mind.
think that's fine.
I am not a person where it's like I have to be the first to watch it.
Oh well,
Like,
some movies, I would say I would like to be like one of the first people to watch it. Like this Godzilla versus Kong movie.
mhm.
It's just a different experience being in there with a crowd of people that all love the same thing and are reacting to the movie for the first time. Instead of
Mhm.
you go 3 weeks in and there's like 10 people in there that don't really care about it and they're just watching it because they heard it was good, type thing.
Yeah.
It's a
Or
different
it's
experience
already
when you
their
go
fourth
first.
time going to see it.
Oh yeah, or is their fourth time going to see it and they've seen like every freaking thing in the movie already. So
Yeah.
so yeah, there could be some blowback from directors about this whole streaming day and date deal that HBO Max got going on, especially if other movie studios go on to the same thing that HBO Max is doing for 2021. There could be some pushback. There might be news about it because directors have been vocal that they want. Well, some of the directors have been vocal that they want their movies in movie theaters and not on streaming services the same day. You know, so we could see
Yeah.
something later on in the year about that, or earlier in 2021, I guess.
But like I like what HBO Max is doing where they're releasing it on their streaming service and then
Hmm.
after um a certain point they're going to release it in theaters. I'm
Oh,
not
you
exactly
mean Universal?
yeah,
Yeah.
Universal.
Hmm.
And I really like that because, like I
It gives
said,
the
these
movie
are
theaters a
special
chance.
times. You have to sort of gauge what's going on
Yep.
instead of just being like, no, I'm gonna go against that. And everything's normal. No, nothing's normal.
But we're gonna go on to the next question, and the question is that they asked is, could sneak previews make a big comeback? So sneak previews back in the day, for certain movies were that you could, before the movie officially dropped in theaters, you people could come to the theater for one night before the movie comes out and watch the movie in like a one of those one time screenings. So say it's like a month before the movie comes out, and then the movie theater releases an ad that come watch uh, Matrix 4 for one night only before the movie comes out, and you get the major fans in there, and then
So
you
they're
get
like
major.
previews
Yeah. So
or
yeah, it's like
premieres.
a.
No, 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 premieres.
No, it's uh sneak premieres basically,
Mhm.
because it's the movie has not officially come out, and these are not like viewings for reviewers of the movies that type up articles on the movies. These are just normal people that are going in. So theaters can for one a month before or something be like, hey, everybody come out. This is the one night you can see it before you see it on the release date. And they just get a bunch of people out there to watch it and, gush about it if it's good or hate it if it's bad. But
Yeah.
the people who are going to go for first time anywhere are going to be major fans. So most likely they're going to gush about it. And I think this could make a comeback, to be
I think
honest.
so too.
Especially if all the movies are going to drop day and date on HBO Max. It'll be very, I think
And
it'll
I
be a
think
good
it'll
thing
be
for
good
movie
business
theaters.
for the theaters, so they at least get some revenue.
Yeah, because you can't watch it on HBO Max yet, and you can't watch it in theaters officially yet. So that one night only, get your family or your friends together, and y'all basically head out to watch this movie earlier than anybody else in the world, pretty much.
Yeah.
I think
But,
this would be a
at
very good
the same
idea.
time, I'm still thinking from, like, the safety aspect of this.
Oh yeah, well of course,
But, that's just at their own risk.
yeah, at their own risks, the vaccine is on the way. I'm pretty sure they're still going to be held to the 50% people that can only be in the theaters or whatever standards they have now.
Social distancing and everything,
Yeah.
continuing wearing mask,
Because I'm pretty sure they're just
possibly.
going to turn people away at the door if they get too many.
Yeah.
But the final question they ask is, could Warner Brothers reverse course? So the whole thing is about this question, and I've seen everywhere else. So Warner Brothers has said that this is only for 2021, right? But can you ever put the cat back in the bag once you release it, type thing? Will it ever go back to normal? Especially if this is seen as a big success. Will Warner Brothers really stop doing this in 2022?
Or is it just like a slippery slope kinda thing?
Yes, it's a slippery slope kind of thing. If this is a big success and Warner Brothers see, oh my gosh, we're getting so many people on HBO Max, we're making so much more revenue on HBO Max instead of having to pay movie theaters or whatever. We're just going to do this from now on. It makes no sense for us to go back to movie theaters or to make a deal with movie theaters to have them have it for a few weeks or days or something like that.
Mhm.
And especially if other studios do this, it's pretty much like you said, a slippery slope and a down. It's just a downhill spiral for movie theaters if this happens and we can't reverse course. Because say that Warner Brothers does reverse course in 2022, and then all of a sudden Warner Brothers is like, oh my gosh, we're just not making the same amount of money that we did releasing on HBO Max. Now this is a hypothetical, but it could happen. And then HBO Max, I mean, well, Warner Brothers is going to be like, yeah, screw that. We're just going to, release it on HBO Max from now on, day and date. And movie theaters can't really say anything about it. You know,
Yeah.
what do you think about that?
I don't know. I think we'll just have to come to that road when we come to it.
So
That
basically, at the
bridge.
end of 2021, we'll see what happens.
Yeah, what the companies are saying then.
Yeah, because the whole thing is also is that Warner Brothers is hedging their bets. So we all know that there's a vaccine being worked on, and well, multiple vaccines being worked on, and are about to be, I guess, released or administered to some part of the population in America anyway. But they're hedging their bets and saying that movie theaters will not be back up and running to full capacity, or even somewhere near full capacity in 2021. That they're basically still going to be 25% capacity or shut down completely or 50% or whatever. So we're not
Yeah.
going to make that money, so let's just release it on HBO Max the same day and date so people don't have to go to the theaters. So they're playing a little gamble here, saying that movie theaters won't be as profitable as they once was, basically.
Yeah.
And I can see that. I understand where that decision comes from, to be honest.
Yeah, I understand that too.
But is there like any movie on that list that you would think you would rather go to the movie theater to see it instead of watching it at home?
Definitely The Conjuring and Godzilla. The Kong versus Godzilla.
So you would prefer to see Godzilla versus Kong and Conjuring in the movie theater?
Yeah,
Yeah, me too. Because
because those movies are
Dune,
just so epic.
yeah, those movies are so epic and they're basically a spectacle. And watching that whole spectacle for the first time on your, I have like a 55-inch TV or whatever, or even a smaller TV than that. It's just not the same
Or
as
your
that
laptop.
big, or your laptop. Yeah, it's just not the same as sitting in a seat and watching that big screen with, especially if you go to IMAX. Now, if you go to IMAX, it's a whole different experience than watching it on your TV. I think it's much clearer. The surround sound is just grander,
Yeah.
because the ones that I really want to watch in the movie theaters, and I don't know if I want to watch at home, is Matrix 4, Dune, Godzilla versus Kong, The Suicide Squad, The Conjuring. Yeah, I'll say The Conjuring. I want to watch movie theater, and I'll say Mortal Kombat. Yeah, I'll say Mortal Kombat in theater as well. I would prefer to watch them in the movie theater. Oh, well, we don't know what this new Mortal Kombat is going to be, good or bad, or how cheesy it's going to be. So it could be one of those things where it deserves a at home watching.
Yeah.
But yeah, did you have any final thoughts about this major announcement of HBO Max movies dropping in 2021, the same day as theaters?
I'm just so stoked to see what's gonna happen.
Yes, whatever happens, good or bad, is going to be very interesting to see how the movie theater industry tries to basically draw people in now to movie theaters after this announcement, and to see what other movie studios are going to do about HBO Max doing this. Are the directors going to go up in arms, saying, no, we're not going to work on any more movies for y'all unless we get movies in theaters? Or are they going to be like, just sit back and be like, oh, well, it's going to happen if it's going to happen? You know, or it's just HBO Max just made this whole little chaos basically,
Mhm.
and it's going to be very interesting to see how the whole sphere of the whole movie industry reacts.
Yep. They shook the beehive.
They HBO Max literally shook the beehive. This is very like boss moves right here. This is bolder than Disney Plus moves, bolder than Universal moves. This is a bold move. This is how you know, like, hey, we were the pants in the relationship type move.
Mhm.
So we'll see what happens, because this could be bad for movie theaters, or it could turn around and be a good thing for movie theaters somehow. We'll see.
Somehow, like against the odds.
Yeah, what are the odds are very slim that this could turn around to be a good thing, but I mean, maybe somebody has some type of like invention or something to add to movie theaters to make people come into movie theaters. So say like some new technology for uh, eyewear that you can put on, even though we tried that, but you see the movie, or you feel or like 4D experience. They've been trying to work on the 4D experience for movie theaters. Maybe that becomes popular and the reason you want to go to a movie theater, because
Mhm.
you can feel and smell the movie as it's going on, because you can't get that at home unless you're going to spend like thousands of dollars to get that.
Yeah.
Something is going to happen, or I mean, I guess it could just stay the same, but I don't think that is going to happen at all. Well, those are my final thoughts. Anything else from you?
No, that was pretty much it.
All right. Well, Marcy, thank you for talking about this whole HBO Max thing with me.
No problem. Anytime. Thanks for having me.
And thank all of you for listening to Swimming in the Stream. And y'all have a good one. Thank you everyone for listening to Swimming in the Stream. And if you want to get into contact with us or leave us feedback, you can reach us on Twitter at SitsPodcast and Gmail at swimminginthestream@gmail.com. You can now find us on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, TuneIn Radio, Stitcher, YouTube, and SoundCloud. Please like, share, and subscribe. If you can leave us a review, please do. It would help us out. You can now support us on Patreon at Sits Podcast.